What if you could predict the exact year of your own death, and then be right? Stay with me, because the man behind Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn made exactly that prediction. And on April 20th, 1910, the universe kept its end of the deal. Samuel Langhorne Clemens, born November 30, 1835, in a tiny cabin in Florida, Missouri, population 100. Sixth of 7 children. His father died when he was 11. He left school at 12. He spent his boyhood watching steamboats churn up and down the Mississippi River, dreaming of the day he'd pilot one himself. When I was a boy, there was but one permanent ambition among my comrades on the west bank of the Mississippi River: to be a steamboat man. He got his wish. He became a licensed riverboat pilot, one of the most respected jobs on the American frontier. And it was on that river that he found the name the whole world would remember. Mark Twain was the sounding call for 2 fathoms, 12 feet of depth, safe water for a steamboat to pass through. He failed at silver mining in Nevada. He tried journalism. He wrote a silly story about a jumping frog, and the whole country laughed. Then he wrote Tom Sawyer, then Huckleberry Finn. Ernest Hemingway would later say that all modern American literature comes from one book by Mark Twain. By the end of his life, Mark Twain was the most famous American writer on earth. The man William Dean Howells called the Lincoln of our literature. But here is the part of the story that stops everyone cold. On the same 2 weeks in November 1835 that a baby named Samuel Clemens came into the world in a Missouri cabin, Halley's Comet blazed across the sky above him. Halley's Comet is one of the great wonders of the solar system. It swings past Earth roughly every 75 to 76 years, close enough to see with the naked eye, trailing a tail of ice and gas millions of miles long. In ancient times, it terrified kings and generals. William the Conqueror took it as a sign to invade England. Genghis Khan marched west because it was heading that direction. And in 1909, as Mark Twain's health began to fail and word spread that the comet would return the following year, he sat down and made a declaration that became one of the most quoted statements in American history. I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It is coming again next year, and I expect to go out with it. It will be the greatest disappointment of my life if I don't go out with Halley's Comet. The Almighty has said, no doubt. Now here are these 2 unaccountable freaks. They came in together, they must go out together. Only Mark Twain could make a prediction about his own death and make you smile while saying it. On April 20, 1910, Halley's Comet reached perihelion, its closest point to the Sun, blazing through the inner solar system just as it had 75 years before, the year a boy was born on the banks of the Mississippi. Mark Twain died of a heart attack the following day, April 21, 1910, one day after the comet was at its closest to the Sun. He was 74 years old. He had lived exactly as fully as he had written, with adventure, with humor, with heartbreak, and with the unshakable conviction that a good story deserves a proper ending. The newspapers carried the story around the world. The man had predicted it. The comet had come. And just as he always did, with absolutely perfect timing, Mark Twain had the last word. Now, here is what I want you to sit with for a moment. Mark Twain's pen name came from a river. His greatest characters came from his boyhood. His humor came from watching people, ordinary, flawed, wonderful people, go about their lives along the Mississippi. He didn't invent his stories, he remembered them. Everything he wrote was, at its heart, a story about where he came from, about who raised him, about what the river taught him, about the people he loved and lost and never forgot. And that makes me think about you. You have a river too. Maybe it's not the Mississippi. Maybe it's a kitchen table in a house that no longer exists. Maybe it's a front porch, or a fishing spot, or a road trip that nobody else remembers but you. The stories of your life, The real ones, the small ones, the ones that shaped who you are. Those are the stories that will outlast everything else. They are your Huckleberry Finn, and the only person who can write them is you. Have you ever thought about what it would mean to your children or grandchildren to have those stories written down? Not a polished memoir, just the truth of who you were and where you came from, the moments that made you laugh until you cried, the people who changed your life, the hard times you got through and the lessons you carried forward. Those stories are irreplaceable, and right now, today, you are the only person alive who can tell them. If today's story gave you chills, or made you smile, hit that like button right now and share it with someone who loves a great piece of American history. And if you haven't joined the History Sparks family yet, subscribe today and ring that bell. Every single day, we bring you a moment from the past that reminds you how extraordinary the human story really is. We will see you right back here tomorrow because history never stops sparking.